Hey, it's Tim.
And it's Amy from GoWithLess. We're glad you're here. In this bonus video, we're going to be talking about a major development in the house sitting community. We hope you watch the entire video if house sitting is on your radar.
In 2015, Amy and I retired in our late 40s, and in January of 2020, we sold our home and became full-time nomads. On the third Wednesday of every month, we're here on our channel talking about our nomadic lifestyle, and occasionally we'll come out with a bonus video like this one.
If you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe over here to get our videos. And we're going to be referencing a video we did a full year ago. We had 5 best tips and tricks on how to get started house sitting. We just rewatched it. Again, it's a year old, but every single thing in it is completely valid, completely legitimate, and we stand behind all those 5 tips. But there are 2 asterisks on points number 4 and 5, and that would be to get started with local sits so that you get some good reviews in order to be picked for more competitive house sits. And number 2, to maybe do sits that are not like the cream of the crop kind of house sits that won't be as competitive. Well, there is a major thing at play right now that maybe you don't have to do those so urgently, and that is that there are more house sits than house sitters. And the only other time we see this happen is during Christmas time, when it's maybe a little harder to get house sitters in the mix. And there are a few reasons why, we think.
Yeah, so there are 2 dynamics at play. Number 1, as COVID seems to be lifting, there is a hugely increased demand for people traveling. So the people that have pets and people that have homes are looking to leave their pets behind and go and travel the world. In particular here in the Northern Hemisphere, as summer season is approaching, there's lots and lots of opportunities to be watching pets right now. And then on the other side of the equation with the sitters, when COVID happened, many sitters backed away because there just weren't a lot of opportunities for sits, and so a lot of sitters actually fell off the platform. So the supply side of the equation when it comes to sitters just isn't there. So the competition, if you're looking to get a sit, doesn't exist like it was several years ago.
Or even a few months ago. So when we're talking about this in May of 2022, we don't know how long this is going to last. It could be a really short-term situation, which is why we're doing a whole video about this, to make sure that you're aware of this. Now, we are talking about the site Trusted House Sitters because this is really the only platform where we're booking our house sits. We have been on 5 paid platforms, and we have never booked a single sit on any one of them. Some of our friends have. They've had good luck with it, but we've booked dozens and dozens and dozens on Trusted House Sitters and 0 on all of the others. So that's the only site that we recommend. We do have a nice referral discount link in the description below, so if you're interested, make sure to check that out. Now, we do have a whole bunch of people that we're talking with in the GoWithLess community. Many of them are nomads, and it's a little harder to get local sits when you don't have a local, when you're on the move. And so this is what's happening now. I see 4 different people I'm thinking of out of that group have just started house sitting, and on Trusted House Sitters, they have booked, 2 of them booked Italy for their very first house sit, 1 booked Edinburgh, Scotland, and 1 in Bangkok, Thailand. Now, these are all really great situations, and normally they would be quite competitive, and yet these are people who are brand new sitters. But it's also good for people who might not have like the most primo situation.
Yeah, and also something that we want to point out is there's no guarantee that you're going to get any given sit. So it's just the equation is so lopsided right now, the odds are greatly improved. And so also, if you have a situation like you're potentially traveling with your family, or if you're traveling with your pet and your situation it's a little more complex than somebody, maybe a couple that's just going to come and sit for you, that now is maybe the time to get started if you have that situation going on, so you can go get some good references and still have these factors in the mix. So that's something else that's really unique right now, is you can maybe have an easier time getting started with those situations.
It's just not as competitive.
That's exactly right.
It's not as competitive.
That's
so
right.
If your situation is anything other than like you have, and even for us, we've been doing this for 7 years. We're a couple. We don't bring our pets or anything like that. We have dozens and dozens of amazing reviews. It's still competitive for us. So right now, this is the time. We are all booked up right now. We're in Sitges, Spain, on the coast, right outside of Barcelona. We're just a half block from the beach. We're walking a pug that I'm completely in love with.
So he's in love with you.
He's in love with me. It's a love affair between me and the pug. So here we are. We have a full summer booked with house sits in Europe. So house sitting factors hugely into our lives. 70% of last year was house sitting for us, which certainly helped our budget and allows us to travel. It allows us to spend money on other things. Like we are really extravagant with food because we have so many free days because of our house sits. Now, just a couple little notes if you're new to this kind of concept. We don't get paid to house sit, nor do we pay to be in a house. So that's number one with trusted house sitters. It's just an exchange. And number two, house sitting is not a traditional vacation. We're in a vacation spot. We're having a wonderful time. The dog is very easy. However, we do have chores. We can't be off in Barcelona, which is like not quite an hour away, all day long. So we take turns, and one of us goes into Barcelona while the other stays home with the dog. So that's not your normal kind of a vacation. So just something to consider. And we want to make sure that you knew about this because we don't know how much longer this is going to go on for. So what I want to hear from you is, are you interested in house sitting? Is this on your radar? We want to hear all about it down below. What else you got?
I say now is the time. If you're really interested in this house sitting concept and you want to get started, it's never going to be easier than it is right now to sort of find those great sits.
Yeah. So with that, we'll see you soon. Hasta luego.
Adios.